The year is 2014. I have just started my junior year of high school. I am in a place where I am unsure of what I wanted to do in my life and what I wanted to do in general. So there were a lot of things I was trying out new for the first time. I just got back into playing a lot of games on my Xbox because I was mostly playing on a old PC that I had with a bunch of friends on Discord, but I finally decided to go back to my Xbox 360 because I saw a couple of commercials for this weird game by the people who made Halo, and I was like, man, this one commercial with this old 70s rock song playing in the background of these people diving into a cavern on the moon and a cavern on Venus really made me want to play this game. So on September 9th of 2014, a day after my 16th birthday, I decided to take all of the money that I got that year and put it towards getting this $60 game at GameStop on a rainy day called Destiny. What I didn't know then is how big of an impact in my life this game would have on me 5 years after it came out. Now, you're probably thinking this is a large stretch. How does one game define a whole 5-year span that is currently over almost a fourth of my entire life? How do you get that to come down to one of the biggest things that's ever happened to you? Well, I'll let you know now. There are a lot of things in life that you do not expect to come. This game is something I did not expect. Destiny at its whole was a game that literally and legitimately came out of nowhere in my life. I did not hear anything about it. I did not play the beta. I'm not one of those Destiny veterans who's like, oh, I was there for the beta. No, it doesn't matter if you're there for the beta. You're there the 4th or 5th day after the game comes out, because that's when I joined. But in general, I just didn't know that this thing existed, and then out of nowhere, it became one of the most important things that I ever accomplished and played through and did, and it was more important than a lot of things I did in my academic life and stuff like that. I let it really consume me for a while, and that was kind of bad. But in the good, it really showed me that there are people out there that you meet for really, really strange reasons, and somehow they become larger parts of your life than you actually expect. Now, for the first almost 6 to 8 months of Destiny, I played mostly either alone or with my cousin that also had Destiny. I convinced him after a week or so. I was like, dude, this new game I got, you gotta get it. And he ended up going to GameStop and getting it as well. It was just me and him who played it for the longest time through Vanilla Destiny, through Vault of Glass, and he actually dropped off even before my first raid came out. The Vault of Glass came out at the end of September, and I didn't really know how to do it, so I kind of went in as a kindergarten at that point into the landing zone and tried to do it myself, not realizing until I looked up a video by one of now my favorite YouTubers of all time, Dado, describing the entire experience, because he was world's second in the raid, and it was crazy to know that somebody out there has completed this with 6 people, and I'm only one person. I don't have 6 people. I don't know anybody like that. How am I supposed to complete something like this? Well, come to find out, a few weeks later, in the middle of October that year, I hopped on my first LFG site, which is looking for group, if you guys aren't familiar with the terminology here, and I somehow stumbled upon a group with people. The only notable person I remember, and if you were out there watching this video, I can't believe it, his name was Professor Rat. He and a group of his 5 friends, 4 friends actually, got and carried me at level 27 or 26 at the time through my first Vault of Glass raid on easy, and then again after I got leveled up on hard in the same night. It took us 8.5 hours to beat our first Vault of Glass, hard and normal combined. It took about 4 hours each, if I'm being honest. We pushed the Templar off the edge, and we managed to try that on Atheon, but then for some reason we couldn't get it to work with the group that we had, so we had to just go in and defeat Atheon on our own. I know it's like Atheon or something, but I'm on my own stuff right now. Those guys got me my first big exotic in Gjallarhorn. Gjallarhorn dropped for me at the end of the raid, and I had no idea what this weapon was, but they all were extremely, really jealous with me, the fact that I got this rocket launcher, but I thought it was a waste of a heavy like everyone else did, and didn't use it for a while until I realized that this is the greatest gun in the entire game. I would go on to complete a couple more VOG raids before the end of the first chapter of Destiny, before the Dark Below, and get things like Vex Mythoclast. I start playing with a couple of more friends I knew from school and a couple of people that I met on my LFG group and everything. We would play with them and everything. But as Dark Below came out, people started to have more doubts about Destiny. Is this it? Is this the entire game that we are going to get for the next 10 years? As Bungie said they had a 10-year plan for this game. Vanilla Destiny was alright, but it definitely had its glaring issues in story and content, and level progressioning and all that kind of stuff. Endgame was kind of boring. There's only 2 things to do, a normal and a hard raid. And Dark Below comes out, and there's a couple of new things. There's a new quest for whatever this Necrochasm thing is and the Crux of Crota, but 4 or 5 missions and nothing else but almost a glorified strike as a raid. Don't get me wrong, Crota is probably one of my favorite encounters in the entire world, because the bridge making encounter is like the best thing in original Destiny before Taken King came out. But Dark Below had really soured the taste for me, and although I loved the game so much, and I'd end up playing with these 2 random British guys for weeks on Dark Below trying to get my first Crota clear, and we cleared it about 6 or 7 times, it really started to get a sour taste in my mouth. So I, unfortunately, didn't stop playing. See, you thought I was going to say I stopped playing there. No, I had an unfounding love for Destiny at this point. Even with its glaring issues, this was a game that I craved. I came home every single day, played Destiny, did some work, did some homework, Destiny, 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 Destiny. It's all I thought, breathed, and that's honestly what I dreamed about at some points, getting those nice crispy loot drops out of exotics instead of blues turning into greens and legendaries turning into blues. That was a terrible time. We'll talk about it at another point, but I was really experiencing a game for the first time that I could not put down after 4 months almost already. Coming into January and February, there was a lot of drop-off, unfortunately, but I kept playing somehow. I kept coming back to this game, and I had no idea why this was so tantalizing to me. This game and its loot system and how I'm getting drops and all these crazy encounters and these raids and like working with different LFG groups definitely kept my taste going. And going into House of Wolves, I was so excited for something new, and House of Wolves was pretty much the same, just a little bit better. It's basically like taking a piece of white bread and putting some salt and pepper on it and calling it a meal. It was alright. House of Wolves storyline was maybe a mission or 2 more than Dark Below was, but honestly they didn't say it was going to be any better than Dark Below or any larger. But Skolas and everything and the Prison of Elders came out, and honestly I played all of that. I played it through. My brother started playing, but he only played when he came home from college, so whenever he came home we would talk about what was going on in the game and we would play. He had a Hunter on my account. We played on the same Xbox, so we would always play back and forth all the time, and that's basically it. I cleared a bunch of stuff with my cousin, came back to the game right as House of Wolves came back out, and when Trials started coming back up again, Trials was a great thing for the game, but again I started getting in this lull where I was like, man, this is all the game has to offer again. I don't really understand what's going on here. And then it happened. E3 2015 happened, and they revealed the Taken King, the next big expansion for Destiny. It's not this Crota's End style or Dark Below or this House of Wolves style expansion. This was a big expansion with a large explorable area in the Dreadnought. Oryx is coming to kill us because we killed his son Crota in the Dark Below, and it was amazing. It was fantastic, and the hype leading up to that was great. All these new subclasses and supers. Oh my god, it was just too much to handle. I would talk about it with my friends. I found more people at school that played it, but I didn't really play with them that much as they were on PS4, and I was on Xbox 360. Honestly, at Xbox One at this point because they stopped supporting it. But oh, it was amazing. That was such a great time with all the hype and everything. But then again, a month after the reveal, I started getting a lull again. And then there was this 1 week, for some reason, I was like, you know what? I want to do the Nightfall this week. I'm max light. I'm max level already. I don't need to do this, but I feel like I should just do the House of Wolves Nightfall this week. And it was the same week as Iron Banner, which is probably the only other reason I remember this entire story and the timeline that it happened. I got on LFG and I said, hey, I'm looking for people to do the Nightfall with. I got a message from this guy, and that's honestly where my story begins to change. We are already 9 minutes into this. I'm so sorry that this little story is taking a little while, but this is a lot to take in here, so I'm just going to keep going with it. I got a message from 2 people. Honestly, I think actually one of them sent it to me, but I got a message with one guy who said, hey, I have a second person. Let's run this together. And I loaded up with them, and these 2 guys have been my friends in Destiny for the last 4 years now. I have played every expansion, every time I get on the original Destiny, and even Destiny 2 now. I have played with these guys in and out. And I don't know if they want me to name them because I haven't asked them about this, but if you guys see this video, hi, this is the story. I'm telling our story again. I know we talk about this all the time, that a couple of random internet strangers ended up playing Destiny for 4 years, and here we are again waiting for Shadowkeep. But we played all the time. We played Iron Banner right after we finished the Nightfall. These were some of the coolest guys I've ever played with. They were so nice in bringing me into their group of people that they already had playing the game, and luckily, guess what? They had a slot open for the raid on Taken King, and I've only been playing with them for 2 months, but we raided within the first week of Taken King, and we finished the raid. We finished Taken King. That was my first raid I ever finished. King's Fall. It's the first raid I ever finished with a group of people that I knew. I knew all of them, and some of them have dropped off Destiny now, but I have pictures and stuff, and I'll probably throw those up on the screen now, of our first clear of the War Priest, and then I have the Crota, I think I have the Oryx clear, but I'm not sure about if I have a picture of that or not, but I have a picture of our first War Priest clear, and that honestly brought back memories when I saw that a couple of days ago, and that's honestly what's inspiring this entire video here. So we played through Taken King, and towards the end of that year, we started to drop off a little bit because they started to play some different stuff, but then we came back. We played like Siege and stuff like that in like the interim time. Then we came back for different stuff, played SRL, played up until the rest of the year. The April update came out and Prison of Elders got revamped. We played through that, and then we played all up into the release of Rise of Iron, and Rise of Iron was our golden age. We finished the raid on the second or third day that it was released. We found chests first that no streamer, nobody found before. Some of the secret chests, they won after the what is it called? The Death Zamboni, as I like to call it. That walker on top of the wall. We were the first people to find the secret chest after you jumped down on top of the pipe of the mountain, and that was honestly crazy for us. And we got referenced in a couple of YouTube videos, like one of Dato's videos. We got mentioned in an unnamed Reddit user was my name, found the chest above the pipe. And that was absolutely crazy at that time. We played the whole way through Rise of Iron into the end of the year. We did all the raid. We did the hard version of the raid. We got Outbreak Prime together. We played every single event from King's Fall to the Moments of Triumph in 2016, and that was great. And then we started getting hyped for Destiny 2. I started playing and everything. By this time, they all moved over to PC because they got a little tired of Destiny. And after hearing that Destiny 2 was coming to PC in June, we were like so excited we're going to get the gang back together, group back together, but unfortunately, I didn't have a PC that was suitable to play Destiny 2 on PC at that time. And I went the whole summer. This is actually, in this part right here, is when I made my first YouTube video. When Destiny 2 was first released, and the first video and gameplay was shown of it, I took screenshots of the menus, and that was my first 1,000 view video on the channel. It was my Destiny 2 menu review, and looking at all the different guns and options and the menus and stuff like that we had, and off of those small images, it just kept the love for the game going, even when I really wasn't playing it anymore. And over that summer, I really dropped off playing it. I just didn't have time for it anymore. I had a job. Now I graduated high school in the time after Moments of Triumph came out, and that was that was pretty crazy to think about. And we got into 27. Well, actually, wow, I'm actually way far ahead of myself. I graduated in 2016, so right before Rise of Iron came out, I graduated, and I was playing Rise of Iron in college and everything. So back up to 2017 again, because I missed that part up. And I waited all that summer. I had a job that I just went through. I talked to them every once in a while, those guys. And then Destiny 2 came out on Xbox, and I played that with my brother and his best friend. They were both on PS4, but it's a pretty rough time. We had some family issues. We lost some people in our family, so Destiny 2 was really it came out right after all that happened. So my brother just moved into this townhouse, and me, him, and his best friend sat there for 2 days and played Destiny 2. Beat the story, finished the campaign, got up to level what we could without playing the raid or anything like that. Leviathan just came out, and that's really where I started to fall off playing Destiny 2. I didn't really play that much leading up to Curse of Osiris, but Curse of Osiris dropped. I got on Discord that day because at that point, it was December and going into January, and I got a gaming PC for the first time in my life, and I was talking to those guys on Discord. I bought Destiny 2 on PC, and my first experience on Destiny 2 PC was Curse of Osiris, and Curse of Osiris was dull. It was so dull. The story was okay and everything. It felt like the Dark Below all over again, and Curse of Osiris was probably the worst time. But I kept playing. Like the whole thing about this is no matter how high or low the game got, I was almost always consistently playing this game because I just kept coming back to it. And Warmind came out, and we had a blast with Warmind. We cleared all the Sivan nodes, we did Escalation Protocol, we did all that, and then Forsaken got announced and dropped in September. We blasted through Forsaken. We did the raid on the first day. I didn't beat it. We took 7 hours to beat the first encounter, which is faster than some streamers out there did it. Rest in peace, the 2402 for Dado, my boy. Hopefully he gets world's first in the upcoming raid. Hoping for that. Fingers crossed for that one. But the experiences that I had in Forsaken, we played as a group of 3. There's no longer a group of 6. A lot of the guys we played didn't switch to PC with us, so it was just me and the original 2 that we played Taniks with during the House of Wolves. And we finished Forsaken. We got LFG for 3 more people for the raid. Yeah, one of the guys and I defeated Riven. A week or so later, we played through the entire raid with another group, and we finished it. We've got all the weapons and stuff like that. We did cheese it because that group was pretty toxic, and they didn't feel like completed the raid normally, so they had to cheese it, and that's all right. I really understand that, but. And then all the Forsaken happened, and all the different expansions. Is it 3? Yeah, there was 3 expansions. There was Black Armory, Season of the Drifter, and Season of Opulence. I know they have different names, but I think those are the names that I know right now off the top of my head. I'm not scripting this. I'm literally just rambling, talking, if you can't tell yet. If you're still here at 16 minutes and 24 seconds, I thank you so much for listening to me ramble for the last 16 minutes and currently 30 seconds. But we played all those expansions together. I didn't play Black Armory as much because it didn't really interest me that much, and I had a bunch of school stuff to do. I was finishing finals when it came out, so it was really stressful, and I was working on getting into a new school, a different place and everything. And then we played Season of the Drifter together, all the Reckoning stuff, Season of Opulence. It all just really melded together for me, and now we're sitting here on September 29th. You'll be hearing this on September 30th. September 30th, one more day until Shadowkey comes out, and 5 years later, I'm still playing this goddamn game that I love so much. Thank you so much to Bungie for making this game, and thank you to my clanmates and my friends for sticking around with me for the last 4 years dealing with this bullshit game that we all love so much. And if you guys stuck around to the end, thank you so much for listening to my Destiny story and how this game really helped me form and grow over the last 5 years. I definitely feel like this game had a big part in quote-unquote raising me for so long. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for listening and watching, getting your daily dose of vitamin P. If you guys want more daily doses of vitamin P, please check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, and take care.